a story called Just Like Us. Long ago, there were two great villages. One village loved the color blue, and they loved music, and dance, and singing, and painting, and all endeavors that were creative. They spent many long days dancing and frolicking and playing all of their music as loud as they could and sharing all of their great art for the world. Across a vast river, there was another village that worshipped the color red. And in this village, they worshipped numbers and science and logic. And they spent their days calculating great ideas and schemes and all sorts of scientific elements that needed to be deduced. One day, there were two girls on either side of the river. These two girls had their daily chore of walking down to the river and collecting water for their house. The girl from the blue village crouched down and scooped up as much water as she could, and the girl from the red village scooped out the water from the river and sipped it. It tasted pure and clean and delicious. Suddenly, they looked across the river and caught the eye of each other. Recognizing that they both looked very, very much alike, they decided that they wanted to get a closer look. And so, independently, they decided, I shall build a bridge to go and see this other person.
I'll build a bridge! I'll build a bridge. I'm gonna need...
And the little girl from the red village calculated the best, strongest bridge and what materials she had on hand and how best to go about it. While the girl from the blue village creatively gathered all things that she could find around her and haphazardly placed them together in a form that was both aesthetically pleasing and structurally sound, surprisingly. And slowly but surely, the two little girls built a bridge that connected each of their shorelines. And so they crossed the bridge to meet the mirror image of themselves. They discovered that they were very much alike. They shared many common interests.
Oh, me too. Do you enjoy sunrises and sunsets? I do. Me too. How many teeth do you have? Many. Me too. Do you like music? I have always calculated the perfect music. It's so numerical. It's just the perfect expression of the beauty of numbers. Can I please play your drum? Never thought of it that way.
And so the girl from the red village shared the secret that she loved music and actually had written her own song. a compass on her arm.
What is that? On her arm.
It's my compass for determining the perfect route through the woods. It keeps me from bearing too far right and too far left.
Wow, I've always used the stars, but this would work in the daytime.
It's perfectly correct. The arrow is always going to point in the best possible direction as the crow flies.
This is how my brain works, too.
I do like to imagine myself as a bird, and when I'm on the ground with the compass, it's like I'm flying, except on land.
I've never heard anything spoken so beautifully in my life.
Realizing that they both have a great deal to share, they decided to go back to each other's villages and convince their elders that they should
So much I can learn from you.
meet and discuss and create a greater community together. And so they went to their elders and they petitioned them to come to the river and come and cross the bridge and meet with the other elders across the bridge. For surely their two great cities could grow and exchange ideas and have a rich and fruitful life together. The elders conceded, begrudgingly, and they made their way down to the river. For it had been many, many, many years since either of the two elders had been to the river. The red elder hesitantly crossed across the bridge, while the blue made his way. They met in the middle. They recognized their long life together. For the elders were actually brothers. Brothers that many years ago had gotten into a fight over what was more important, music or math. And so they each decided to create their own city and create their own rules on how best to go about living. Realizing that the times had not changed, that they were just as stuck in their ways, they began to quarrel again as if they were small boys. They fought each other, fighting hard and long, violently striking blows to each other, one wishing the other were dead. Just then, the village of the Red fell into the water, and being as old as he was, drowned. The great elder of the Blue was victorious, and he went forth and destroyed the bridge that had been created between the two villages. He went back to his own village and declared that none shall ever create a bridge to another village, that music is the only way. The end.